So I have a 92 Civic hatchback CX, and here's my swap. JDM. Issues you're gonna have with this engine once you swap it. This back here does not have that. See the plug? It's missing the sensor. I believe that's the oil pressure sensor. It's missing that one. So you're gonna have to get that one. I did not know that. You're gonna have to get that one if you're getting a JDM engine. And then my water pump housing was not bolting on with all my stuff. As you can see, the alternator bolts up to the front here. On the JDM one, it bolts up to the side. So this one has these two, and then this bolt, and then at the bottom has two holding on to the water housing. So that's something else you're gonna have to get along with the auto tensioner, because the auto tensioner that I had that came with the housing and everything did not want to fit my EP3 pulley. I mean, you can probably get the other one that the AC power steering delete one, but I went ahead and got this one from K-Tune. You can get other brands or generic ones. I've seen them as well. Make sure you order the right one. This is a K24. So the EP3 pulley for the K24 that I ordered, I picked the K24 one, so that way the belt fits. If you get a K20 one, the belt will be too short. All right, so yeah, so I had to get a little bug right there. So yeah, I had to buy a brand new alternator. Got that AutoZone, and then auto tensioner as well, so it can fit my water pump housing. This water pump housing, to be exact, is 02 to 04 RSX base. And it also EP3, I don't know what year, but the EP3 one, I mean, it came with a K28.3 and the CRV from 2002. Everything bolts up. The only thing, as you can see, that stud does not go with that housing, but everything falls pretty much good. So, I mean, I can remove it. It's not a big issue right now, and then just put a bolt in there. So, yeah, RBC intake manifold. I got a K-Tune adapter because I'm running a 70 millimeter. K-Tune throttle body. I got the little block off for it because I'm not running it. This is just a little generic piece that I found on eBay. K-Tune block off for this. Upney mat bar, 4 bar blocks. TPS. And then I'm running a cold air intake. K-Tune. It does go all the way to the bottom, but I am keeping my windshield, my reservoir for the windshield fluid. So I just stopped it there, and also for if I go in a puddle and stuff, I'm on hydro locked my engine. Right, so the starter came with the engine. I didn't have to change anything. I am gonna say, since this is a JDM one, I don't know about the Type R, the K20A, but this is a K20A, K24a, sorry, and it was different plugins from here. So that's from the Type S, but the engine harness that came with this all cut up did actually have a different clip in here. So I mean, but you can do that, just clip on, no big deal, but it is different. So I kept the stock one from the car. It has no issues whatsoever. Alright, my fuel rail went with K-Tune, the 4 Bangers Edition one. So yeah, and then with the injectors, I'm running, these are the stock ones, same as the RSX Type S. I think they're 310. I'm not too sure on the CCs. I do have RGXs. I'll be swapping those with time when the motor starts running. And then the engine harness, I have RSX Type S 02 to 04 OEM stock harness. Everything pretty much bolts up perfectly. I mean, clips on perfectly for the sensors. I'm not running this, so I'm not using that or this one. The only issue, like I said, if you're running a JDM engine, you're gonna have to get that sensor right there because it's just pretty much hanging in there, so you can see there. Alright, for the headers, I'm running 1320, just little budget headers that I found on eBay. They're 2.5 inch in diameters. I'll be upgrading with time, probably 3-inch diameter. It's not a big deal. I did upgrade my spark plugs. I don't know if my coil pack it's bad or not, but I am getting sparks, so that's a good thing. I just got AutoZone, not the generic ones, but a little bit. I think it was like advanced or something, not AutoZone. Spark plugs. Alright, so moving along. I went with Hasbro EGK2. Have it on the K24 settings. I believe this is a 70A. The little billets inside, the little for the stiffness. I'm not too sure if that's street performance, but yeah, I didn't want it too stiff because I'll be driving it daily as well. And then I had this one for the K24 setup as well, and then the rear mount as well. I have it at the lowest setting. All right, and then for my radiator hoses, lower and upper, I went with Hybrid Racing. Pretty much both up perfectly. And then for the bottom as well, I just had to cut it pretty much. But I'm pretty sure they come for pre-harness. I just cut it a little bit so that way it can fit. I have a K Motorsports thermostat housing, and perfectly it bolted it up. It was leaking at first, but it was because it wasn't tight all the way. Got my fans, my coolant temp in there. I'll be probably relocating that one to up here so I can get a better reading. For right now, I just have it right there. I have no issues with this. Perfectly fine. I'll be talking about the prices. I'll just list them up because I don't remember off the top of my head. I did my own charge harness. I just took a Type S and just pretty much modified it, and then added a 4-gauge wire. It's right here, and then yeah. So I pretty much use the stock one. I just pretty much cut the end from it and then just made a hole. And it works perfectly fine. Made my own grounds too, no big deal. Oh yeah, and then so you know when you're running a Type S on a K24, make sure you swap the knock sensor. So that's from a Type S knock sensor. Since I'm running a Type R transmission, everything's fine on there. I don't have to change anything. And then the crank positioning sensor, I changed that as well. Can't really see it for a Type S as well, since I'm running a Type S and then harness. Alright, so for the fuel rail, I'm running a K-Tune fuel rail. I made my own fuel lines. I removed from right here the stock filter for the car. This is 6 AN, 100 microns I believe, from K Motorsports. No issues right now, but I haven't got the car started either. Yeah, and then I mean I could have done a center feed right here, but I just did it on this side. Maybe with time I'll just bring it from down here. Alright, and then for my heater hoses, I went with the K-Tune universal one. I might have to adjust it with time because look how close it is to the headers, and that's going to be an issue when it starts heating up. So I'm going to have to find a way to adjust that. For right now, I'm leaving it like this. But I use up my old, the motor, the D15 B7 I believe. It was inside. I just pretty much took that hose from there and then adjusted it as well. This is my K-Tune upper coolant housing I believe. I got that as well. I was going to keep the stock one, but I lost the piece that sticks out from here that goes to the heater hose. But I ended up finding it after I bought it, so I was just whatever. I put this one since it's better. So yeah, brand new battery because my battery died. Had warranty, so that was good. Yeah, so I'll be listing pretty much how much everything cost me and where I got this stuff from pretty much. So I went with a Michimoto radiator, and then I got, to be exact, I got the 92, I think, Integras as well, but this is a swap radiator, so pretty much I didn't have to change no brackets whatsoever in the bottom. I just pretty much put little grommets so that way it's not, when it vibrates, it doesn't really like mess up the radiator. And yeah, I didn't have to notch here like I've seen other people. It just pretty much went right in. A fan, it's just a 10-inch fan that I just got from eBay. Hopefully it works. If not, I'll upgrade it. I got this from K Motorsports. It brought the whole kit, so that way I can swap at the bottom, remove the OEM ones, and then put that. But I didn't really have to since the radiator bolted up completely. But got this of use from it, so I can hold it. And then the reservoir, I pretty much just placed it right there. I had to modify my bracket. I twisted it a little bit and play with it, but it's all snugged in there. As you can see, it's all touching. Might have to move this around later on, somewhere around here for right now, but it's okay for the setup. Alright, so for the axles and stuff, I went with I bought those used, but good condition. They're 32 millimeters. I believe they're insane shaft, but they fit perfectly. Intermediate shaft, Type S intermediate shaft, clutch plate cylinder. So I just upgraded all that, pretty much K-Tune one with the K-Tune clutch line. I came with the stock one. I could have kept it, but I just upgraded, and the boot too and everything inside, pretty much the fork and the spring. With the clutch, I went with a clutch competition clutch, stage 3. And that's at my Type R DC5 transmission. So the shifter box came with the cables. They're from a Type S, 02 Type S. And the only thing that I was missing is just that little like metal plate, whatever they bring. So I'll be getting that to upgrade it, to fix it, because it was missing. So yeah, everything pretty much bolted on good. And no fitment issues. I mean, Hassport, can't complain. I mean, not that I'm saying the other ones are not good, but I just went with Hassport. So yeah. I know it's hard to see, but where the shifter cables go, if you're not running one that goes below, you're gonna have to cut. All right, moving inside. I went with Wireworks conversion harness, plug and play everything. Down there where you see all that yellow wiring, that's where your SRS, I believe, ECU is at. So I pretty much removed that, and then you'll see like it's like a little square underneath that, kind of like, and then that's where I cut, and I was able to pass my cables through because I'm running this, and this is so bulky, but it's financially what I was able to buy, so I can complete the swap. Later on, I'll probably get a hybrid racing one because they look really nice, or a K-Tune one. But I kind of like the OEM setup where I can cover everything up, and with this, I can't do anything. But for sure, I like the hybrid racing one, so I might get that with time. And then when you're mounting your base plate, pretty much like so, these right here. It's gonna already come with the car, so it's easy to bolt them, and then you're gonna have to drill out the other ones by just mashing, and then just drill them out. Yeah, so you can see, yeah, then just drill them out, and then bolt them up from the bottom with some nuts, and then you'll be all set with that pretty much. And then what I did, which it was easier, I think it was 1.5 inch diameter that I drilled out, and it allowed me to put in my shifter cables. Doesn't matter what side, I just ran them through, and then those are new clips pretty much because I didn't have any clips for those. And then this little pin too, new. These are old, these are Type S. OEM style cables, nothing new on that. With time I'll probably upgrade as well, get performance ones from either Hybrid Racing or K-Tune. I know they have them. Yeah, pretty much just all filled with parts and stuff that I took off from my old engine. But that's where I installed the Chemso fuel pump. as well. I'll let you guys know how it performs and if it's any good, so that way you guys can buy it and save money as well. So yeah, besides this, this was easy. This was so easy. It's just, I guess, taking all this out. Cause I mean, if you're gutted already, it'll be a lot easier. If your dash is not there, it's gonna be a lot easier. But I had all that in the way, so it made it a lot more challenging to install. That's about it for the major issues with the car. Okay, so another issue that I had is because I don't know which side, because you flip them, and then one's for K20 setting, and then the other one's for K24. I did not know what was setting for which ones. If you guys know, then that's a plus for you guys, but I did not know. But this setting is if you're running a K24, and then for the transmission mount, and when it goes on the transmission. And then for this one, where the post mount is at, this top setting right here, if you're running EGK K2 mounts from Hassport, this top one right here is for a K20, and then the bottom one is the lowest setting, so that'll be for a K24, which I have because the reason I knew is I had that flipped the other way, and I was trying to close the hood, and it was hitting exactly, I believe it was hitting my RBC manifold, intake manifold. And then for the rear one, where it bolts up to the transmission, literally I have that on the low setting, and then that other side is a high setting. I don't know if that's just if you have a K20, but that's how I have it. It does have a Type S oil pump as well. I did make a couple issues and mistakes. I over torqued some stuff, but I mean, I did buy my stuff from Harbor Freight, so that could be it. My torque wrench from Harbor Freight, my quarter drive one, did not want to torque to spec, and I did return it and get a new one, but I have not tested it yet. Hopefully it works, finger crossed. But that was my mistake. So yeah, I'm pretty much new to this, so I made my mistakes. You're going to have mistakes too. So hopefully everything turns out good, and I'll keep you guys posted when I do my first startup and any issues that I run. If you have any questions, let me know on how to do it and what steps to take. But it was really fairly easy. Alright, so here is the parts list. Pretty much when I set myself on building the car, I made a parts list, and then as I went, I just pretty much tally up and kept on going. Put the price of how much it cost me. The process, I bought wrong stuff, so that cost me money as well. So you can see, for the engine harness, I did get a Y-Works harness, but I wound up taking it back because I ordered a T-style routing one instead of over the valve cover, so I had issues with that. So I wound up buying an OEM one to replace that in the meantime, so I bought two. And then as you can see, here are all my parts with the price and a brief description of where I got it: eBay, K-Tune, Four Bangers, and so forth. And if you're embarking yourself on a K-swap, you should obviously set parts, like a parts list for you, and then you should mark down to see how much it costs you. I was just curious to see how much a K-swap will range me, and the total, believe it or not, it was not a budget bill, and I was so surprised when I added up everything. Was $10,664.53. So by far you can do a cheaper swap than what I did. Alright, I hope you enjoy the video. Make sure you leave a comment, ask me any questions. Be happily answer the questions. Like the video, and I was just documenting pretty much my K24 swap, and I'm not done, so it still has way more to go. But yeah, if this was helpful, just let me know, and thanks for watching.